Welcome everybody to the Super Lightweight Shoe Club. Hey, what's up everybody and welcome back to 40 Runs. How are you all doing? Let me know in the comments. Do you have a pair of super shoes, hyper shoes? Which ones do you own? Vaporfly, Alphafly, maybe you've got Pro Plus? Let me know in the comments. Well, I thought this would be a cool video to do. Why? Because all of these shoes weigh under 8 ounces and they're sort of carbon plated racing monsters that you may want to try out, or maybe you have tried out. But what sort of gets all these shoes on my desk, to call it, is the fact that they're all under 8 ounces. Now that's super lightweight, right? And I think lightness is a factor when you've got a racing shoe on. All these shoes here, for me, apart from probably the Asics, are more towards that half marathon distance. I'll put that straight out there. But they've all got different feels to all of them. So we're going to go through each of them quickly, and then we're going to tell you a little bit about each of them. And then I'll come on to which I prefer for what. So let's get stuck in. Okay, right, so we're going to go through all the shoes. I'm going to put up stats and features somewhere, also the weights that I've done on Mrs. Fordy's scales. I've taken a picture so you can see those, so you can see that they're all under that weight. Also, all these shoes are UK 9.5, and they all fit pretty much true to size. I'd say the Skechers is probably the exception, but they all fit true to size. 2 of them are under £200, and the others, actually, no, I don't know what the Nike is at the moment, but I'll put it up on the screen. Anyway, okay, right, so where do we start? Let's start with the Skechers. Okay, so this is the lightweight club, and the chief, or the sort of head honcho in the lightweight club, is the Skechers Speed Elite. Why? Because it's the lightest out of all of them. This shoe is so lightweight, it's ridiculous. I don't know of a lighter shoe. Let me know in the comments. Now, there is the Speed Freak from Skechers, and hopefully at some point in the not too distant future, we will be doing a review of the Speed Freak. I'm going to say no more about it than that. But this is a carbon plated shoe like all the others. This has got an interesting carbon plate on it. It's a different shaped carbon plate. It's more of like a, it's like sort of split out like that. You can see it here, the way the Skechers have designed the carbon plate is different to all of these. Like this has got an S shaped in it. They've all got different shaped carbon plates, but this has got like a fan. The way they've created it to create that sort of more stability across the forefoot as well, but also to give you more spring off of a wider platform with the Skechers. But it's just super lightweight. We've got hyperburst in here. We've got a monomesh upper that just doesn't feel like it's there, and it is just literally a carbon plate strapped to your foot with some hyperburst, which is just awesome. Now this shoe for me is 10k distance. This is where it sits. If you've not seen the video, check it out. I did a 10k in this shoe, and it's just such great fun to run in. I wouldn't run a half marathon distance in this. There's other shoes out there for me, but this is a very, very fast shoe. It just wants you to run as fast as you can. It is a maniac in terms of turnover. It's just making you go like that the whole way. It is such a great ride. I can't recommend this shoe enough. And at the moment, I think you can get it for about 160, even less, pounds here in the UK. There we go. In terms of pricing, let's say, is the Puma DEVIATE Elite. Oh, I can't remember what the name is. I should know. I think, is it Speed Elite? I'll put it up somewhere. I forget all the names of the Puma shoes. I don't know about you, but I've lost where they are. Yeah, hang on. It's DEVIATE Elite. This is the SP. So this is the sort of Olympic colour line. This is what Molly wore when she came third at the Olympics in terms of the marathon. So we've got a carbon plate shoved in here with the nitro foam from Puma. This is a nitrogen infused. It is super soft, this shoe. It's got a massive stack on it, mono mesh upper, and it just feels great. This is a fun shoe. Is it a marathon shoe? No, for me it's a little bit too unstable. Again, I think this is more half marathon distance for me because of the instability. I would say this is close to as much fun as you can have in a Speed 2. So if you're looking for something a little bit different from your Saucony ENDORPHIN Speed, this is the way to go, the Puma Elite SP. And I say it's under £100. I think it's £170 here in the UK, but I actually got this shoe, get ready for it, for £119 because I had a code. So this is a great alternative to your Speed 2. But yeah, carbon plate, but super, super lightweight. Where should we go next? Let's talk Asics Metaspeed Sky. Now this is probably the only shoe here that I would wear over a marathon distance. I was going to wear this for London, but obviously I had some problems well documented now on the channel, and I went for the Alpha Fly, but this was the shoe that I was going to wear to gun it at London. But I didn't, I switched out of it. This has got a nylon based flight foam turbo midsole. It's a really interesting compound. It's soft, but it's not overly soft. It's not like a Zoom X. It's probably between the Zoom X and the Power Run PB in terms of feel, but it's a great shoe. I wouldn't necessarily say it's as rocker prominent as some of the other shoes in terms of like speed roll, but it's just a nice balance of stability and speed. The carbon plate in it is great. You've got to watch your sizing in this. I have had issues where my foot has been rubbing at the front, so just be careful of that. But you've got the Asics grip outsole on it, so there's plenty of wear and tear in there, and the upper's like nothing there. But this out of them is probably the closest from all of these that I would wear over the marathon distance. But this is great fun, and again, super, super lightweight. Then let's go on to this nutter, the Vaporfly, the famous Vaporfly. If you go to any race or event, most of the elites are wearing this. This is just insanely fast. This is probably, yeah, out of all of these, I know the Skechers is a quick shoe because it's lightweight, but this is probably the fastest shoe, I would say, out of all of these with the Zoom X and the carbon plate. It just transforms your running, this shoe does. It is an epic weapon of mass destruction. It really is. And the improvements they made were good, especially by adding the bumper around the front, some of that wear and tear. Zoom X remains the same. The outsole is what it is. You've got a little bit of rubber on there. It does get chewed up, the Zoom X, but overall, this is a great shoe. A lot of people, but those sort of, let's say more elite runners also trade in these shoes as well. They do a lot of miles in these shoes, so it tells you that there's something amazing about this shoe. This is an incredible piece of engineering, this shoe, really, really is. For me, again, it goes towards that sort of 10K half marathon distance. If I was looking to rock up and do a very quick half marathon, I'd probably bang these on right now. I think that's where I'd go. I've got a 10K coming up in November, remembrance run, and this is probably the shoe I'm going to wear for that because Toby and I are going to chase the time, and this is the shoe that I'll probably jump on and go for it. I think the last time I ran a quick 10K, sort of, what was it? I can't even remember. It was 40... I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I was wearing these shoes, but the pink version. So we're going to go for these probably in November. But this is a super quick shoe. And out of all these lightweight shoes, this is probably the best out of all of them in terms of everything that you can do. And then finally, we've got the Pro Plus from Saucony. So this is the Endorphin line Pro Plus. So this sits at the top of the food chain in the Endorphin line. It's 35.5mm stack steel in the shoe. We've got speed roll technology. We've got the Power Run PB. But what they've done is they've stripped weight out of it, so it's joined the super, super lightweight club. It's been allowed in by Mr. Skechers over here. What they've done is they've just stripped it down, again, very much like the Skechers, to effectively a carbon plate and some midsole, and off you go. They shaved quite a bit of weight on it, about an ounce, really, off of the Pro 2, which is quite interesting. The ride is firmer than it probably looks, and it is very snappy. If you go after this shoe, you'll get a real snap with the speed roll, and that's the biggest compliment I can give it. This is a great shoe, again, for that half marathon distance. I don't think it's as electric as this. I don't think you carry as much speed as this. But if this is too unstable for you, and you can still get them because they did a limited run, then the Pro Plus is probably a place to go. It really is a great blend of that sort of racing flat but super shoe versus some of the others. So out of these 5 elite super shoes, which are in the super lightweight club, they all have a place for me. They all have a fond place in the garage, in the shoe rack. Like I said, the Vaporfly for me is if I'm chasing a time. This is probably marathon if I'm chasing a time. This is 10K if I just want to have fun. This is half marathon if I just want to have fun, maybe training as well. And this is something a little bit different that maybe if I was doing a half marathon that I necessarily wanted to cruise around in. Does that make any sense? You know, like, I don't know, let's say, it's all relative, but let's say I wanted to do 1:45, which for me, a half marathon distance is cruising, but still, you know, working to a degree, but trying to keep consistent in terms of pacing. I'd probably go with this. This is not a shoe that I'd look to smash a time in, because I'd probably go here. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. So yeah, it's quite interesting. These shoes, I think they're all pretty epic. All being under 8 ounces is pretty cool, right? And it's incredible that we've got to this point in technology with the carbon plates and the different uppers and the different midsole compounds. In terms of the midsole compounds, we'll come on to that just quickly before the video ends. So it's kind of cool because they all sort of do the same thing, but they've all done it differently, if that makes any sense. You've got to say you've got the Power Run PB, you've got the nitro infused compound from Puma, which is very similar to the Hyper Burst, and you've got that nylon based material in the Asics for the Flight Foam Blast Turbo. Then obviously you've got the big dog, daddy of the world, the Zoom X. And they all kind of give different feels. I think the Zoom X is the most unstable out of all of these, but probably the most responsive. But you've really got to light it up to get the best out of this in terms of ultimate pace over your distance. I think the Power Run PB is probably the most consistent out of all of the compounds. And it could be the most rewarding because it gives you that consistency over the distance combined with the plate. But the biggest sort of plus to the Power Run is the speed roll. It's the two combined that really get you going, and that's why the Power Run's so effective. The nitro in here is just fun, right? Puma shoes this year are just fun to run in, and it's soft, right? So it's not for everyone. I know Alan can't get on with these, for example, because they're just too soft, so they are a bit of a nightmare if you're pronate. But these are a lot of fun, people, these Pumas. And then talking of fun, as I say, is the chief of the super lightweight, is the Hyperburst midsole. I love Hyperburst. It is a little bit firmer than what you'd expect, but it is so explosive, and it's kind of hardcore. It's the sort of just, yeah, it just makes you want to run really fast over a short distance. It's just great fun. So they all come at it a different way. I mean, for me personally, I think the Power Run works the best for me. But the Zoom X is probably the one you want to go to if you really want to chase the time. But yeah, it's really interesting. I can't wait actually to see what these guys do in 2022 in terms of their midsole compounds instead of in terms of taking a step forward. So that's it, guys. Hopefully that video was interesting. Who knows? Let me know in the comments if it was or it wasn't. Maybe you want me to do a sort of match up of some of these shoes on an individual. Maybe you want me to compare these two or these two. I don't know. There was other shoes that didn't make it. Like your on running shoes, the Cloud Boom Echo, that was over 8 ounces. We got the 361 shoe, that was over 8 ounces. What other shoes do we have? The original Puma, the original Pro 2 was over 8 ounces. What other shoes did I think about putting into the mix here? Can't remember actually, but there was a lot of the super shoes that I was kind of thinking about putting in, but didn't make the grade. There's the Artist from Atreyu as well, which is a super lightweight shoe as well. That's another shoe to consider in this sort of lightweight club, so to speak. But yeah, so these are the sort of lightweight monsters of the world, the running shoe world, the hyper shoes of the world. But let me know in the comments, which one are you rocking out at the moment? Does weight really matter to you? Let me know in the comments. I'll be very interested to know. But that's it from me, guys. I'll catch you later.